One thing I've learned over the years is that for you to be able to enter a new phase of life, you need to unlearn some of the habits that constituted your previous phase of life. They don't even have to be the bad habits per se, but anything that doesn't suit your current lifestyle anymore. It might look like changing the daily or weekly routine that you once had followed and that worked for you at one point in life, so that you're now better able to adapt to this upcoming life. Or changing the study routine so as to suit the needs of your current subjects, or simply the type of content you're learning. Some changes may be small like that, or it could be pretty big, like turning your life upside down or changing massive chunks of it. I personally find this constant tinkering, editing, upgrading, downgrading, changing the lifestyle to be quite an important part of my life. As students, perhaps the most important part of changing your lifestyle might just look like changing the internalized conceptions about learning and education itself. When you're in your lower classes, it doesn't really strike you as much about what you're studying or how much you're scoring. True, things can get competitive, but it really gets worse as you grow up. Thus, setting your priorities right about what education and learning and schooling even means to you is super crucial. There's going to be a lot of noise regarding what is important and what isn't, what subjects you should really focus on, about how certain exams can be the be-all and end-all of your career. But the truth of the matter is, with each successive year, it should only get clearer to you what you want at the end of it. That means taking things with a little less amount of hostility, competing with yourself and trying to be better than yourself versus considering your friends as enemies. Shifting from an unhealthy level of competition to a healthy level of competition. Maybe try studying together. There's honestly nothing better than trying new models and systems out regarding what works and what doesn't for you. Unlearning could also look like shifting your mindset about what it means to fail, to not hit the target every once in a while. Does it crush you to the ground if things don't work out the way you wanted them to? Or do you take it as a challenge to prepare better for the next one? The point of doing this is for you to be able to think for yourself, and that is what the true meaning of education should be, right? To be able to weigh the consequences and meaning of one versus the other, and then deciding what is the best for yourself. This year, 2026, I know is going to be much different for me from all the years that I've lived so far and anything that's going to come afterwards. This presenting me with a wide array of opportunities of trying out new things. Hence, a big goal for me this year is to bring back class 10's version of me back. There's plenty of reasons for why that is the case, but the main thing is that I want that version of me who was obsessed with structures and framework and systems for each day, week, and month. For the past 2 years, things have been incredibly all over the place for me, but the funny thing is it worked for that phase of my life, but that isn't who I am, and I need a little more control and certainty over my days. And that means I need to shed that skin off and adapt. This means that I'm going to have to grab my journal, grab my planner, jot down all the things that matter to me this year and try out different systems and frameworks till something sticks. In retrospect, quite ironically, I think I needed to be probably out of that structure a little bit, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to handle all the craziness that came with high school. I needed that fluidity, that space to try new things out, to scrap out the things that didn't work, so that rigid scheduling that worked back in 2023 wasn't relevant in 2024 and 5. I am, in a sense, speaking to myself as I make this video, and so when I say that rewriting and rebuilding your intentions and priorities for each passing year is important to keeping a sane mind, I am speaking to myself just as much as I'm speaking to anyone that's watching this video. So this year, unlearning for me looks like cutting down on the social aspect of life a little bit and focusing on working on myself a little more. And at my core, I'm a bit of a lone wolf and I prefer hanging out by myself and minding my own business kind of thing. And quite frankly, as much as I enjoy the whole concept of going out and hanging out with friends, the actual doing it is what kind of drains me. And this means that I have to kind of crawl back into my shell before college starts and this whole new wave of social relationships, if you will, hits me. The thing is, what I'm trying to say here is reset your machinery every now and again whenever necessary. As students, the level of our study load increases or changes from year to year, and then again, the type of material that we're dealing with also changes. If that wasn't enough, on top of that, the extracurriculars, and if you're making some money on the side, if you're trying some side hustle, all of that is going to affect how you add or remove something from your daily routine or your monthly routine or anything basically from your life. The point is, you cannot truly level up if all your systems are keeping you stuck in that one phase of life, the previous phase of life. That said, this was episode 1 in the Lessons Learned from 15 Years of Schooling mini-series. And at the end of high school, at the end of my school life, I've been reflecting a lot on what schooling meant to me, what my school life looked like for me. And I realized there's quite a few things I'd like to discuss in these video essays in the future as well. So subscribe if you'd want to follow along, and have a nice day. Bye.